Let's see. Hi there, and welcome to Star Time.
Are we live now?
We are live, and we have a special guest.
Yeah, we do.
A very surprise and wonderful special guest who we're kind of crowding here. Let's scoot over in our virtual seats and welcome returning champ, which, oh no, I forgot to change the Chiron from last week, so your name is now legally changed. Mel, your name is now Allie.
That's okay.
Okay. Well, I'll change that right now here. Do. No.
Last time I was here, I was talking about aliens. And now that I'm here again, I gotta let everybody know, I have no idea what we're gonna talk about.
Me either. I kind of want to keep talking about aliens.
Well, it is a
I'm always
relaxed
gonna talk
fit
about
episode.
aliens, but this is Dave's show, so.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think if aliens exist that they also drink alcohol? Or would that
Yes.
be like poison to them?
Okay, I have a philosophical answer to this.
Okay.
And it's yes,
Ooh.
okay? But
Okay.
we would not be able to call it alcohol because aliens, however they may look, whatever origin they may have, are going to have such completely different references than to what humans have for things that when we look for extraterrestrial life, yes, we have to use basis of comparison to what we have here on Earth, but at the same time, we have to explode all that and understand that whatever is created elsewhere in the universe is going to have a completely different point of reference. So what I mean is, I don't know, maybe, aliens that get elected president or have very important duties, they get drunk all the time. Like, that's just normal. That's what you do.
That'd be
That's
sick.
what professionally is there. You do
I
a
mean,
bunch
technically
of
that's-
you just, that is what is professional there. Or,
I mean, technically you can say that's happening here now. They just ain't saying it.
I mean,
True.
can I just
Or-
mention that is a plot point at the beginning of one of my favorite books of all time,
Ooh, can
Brother
I guess
Termite.
it? Oh, damn it. I was going to
Sorry.
say that. Yes, Brother Termite. We both read it, and it was a great read.
I think forgotten 90s sci-fi author Patricia Anthony. Very fun. Apparently James Cameron bought the rights to the book, but then got distracted by those beautiful blue creatures on that planet itself, the Unobtainium. So that's what he's doing now instead of adapting this book about love and betrayal in a time when the aliens really did blackmail Eisenhower into letting them experiment on humans, and unfortunate problems resulting from that when people noticed the baby food factory closing down.
I was
Very good
also
book.
going to say
No
it's also
problem.
one of the few realistic alien sex scenes.
Oh yeah,
You mentioned that last time, yeah.
it's great.
We're
And
very
it's a
weird.
small book. It's not like a huge tome, and it's a fun, chilling read. She's great.
Star Trek is very presumptuous that it would be same across the universe.
I like in Babylon 5 there was the plot point when they were gonna bang. They had to do like a thing with crystals and like some meditation and like a lot of
Well,
like
that's like
understanding.
They did a similar thing on the video game Mass Effect. Although it wasn't about crystals, it was literally like one of them being like, we have to get like dictionaries and shit and figure out what fits together. Makes sense, right?
The
Maybe
point
not
is-
dictionaries, but like encyclopedias and shit. God, that
Well,
would be
maybe
so.
The United States government would sell us out for microwave technology.
I believe that. They would sell us out for like less. They'd be like, oh my god, a McDonald's coupon and half a Twix? Sure.
It is incredibly funny, like some of the stuff that like you can get like Omaha steaks for doing like the most evil shit, and it's like, what a reward! I did such a good job.
We're getting
Or
$600 to deal with
they're
COVID.
handing out the stimulus checks and Burger King coupons. They just-
I saw that was great. Hey, you can get $5 off an order of 20 or more of Pizza Hut.
But you know
with
what?
offer code STIMULUS.
McDonald's giving you that 10-piece nuggets, one buy one get one. That's pretty solid. I'm waiting for a special day when I need it.
Speaking of
Oh.
special day, actually, since
Yeah,
this
this
is
is Star
a
Time,
loose
right?
fit, we're gonna talk about the upcoming conjunction.
Yes.
Background.
I was hoping I would get into a conversation about conjunction this week, and it's happening.
If children are watching,
So as you can see, we have
Naughty.
two beautiful images here. Let's let's just briefly highlight these images, shall we? We're gonna just scoot you over here for a second, Mel. All right. There we go. Gotta have that Chiron up. Otherwise, we don't know if you're an expert or not. So let's focus. We got these on this side. You see, beautiful close-up of Jupiter and a couple of moons, and then over on this side here, you see.
Do we know which moons those are?
It looks like maybe Io and Europa. I can't see for sure. They're a little small.
Io is more radioactive, I think.
It's got the volcanoes.
Europa is slightly more tolerable.
It's the worlds of fire and ice.
It's the one that we're not supposed to touch, so we shouldn't even talk about it.
Yeah, I want to go though. I want to see. I
promised.
want to lift up the ice, and I want to see the squid person that's underneath.
That's not my universe. My universe is the aliens told us not to go, and that they would like terraform another planet for us, and that's what I believe.
Oh my gosh,
great
you
movie.
guys talk about this.
Well, I mean, have you ever watched 2010, sequel to 2001?
No,
It's
there's
great.
a sequel to 2001.
It is great. It is. I really like it. I think it is. It has been slept on quite a bit. It is an 80s movie, and Roy Scheider is in it. And instead of hunting a shark, he is hunting the Discovery and Hal, basically.
And it's like a most realistic, like I would say, first contact ever, where we're like completely dismissed by the aliens. It's literally like
we want to talk to the computer and this one astronaut. You can all fuck off, thanks.
Not even that. They're just like, look, don't touch this thing that we have, but you can have this, and then maybe we'll take you to McDonald's after.
Pretty
that was
much.
literally the conversation.
It ends. It ends. Yeah, the big plot point is Europa, and you've seen this reference before, and you might. It's not. You don't know if this is from the movie, but all of these worlds are yours except for Europa. Attempt no landings here. It's been like I've seen it floating around for the last couple of years.
That sounds really familiar to me too.
Yeah.
Also, having been a person who's been on the internet a long time.
Exactly. I mean, it might have been for me. Like, I loved the movie. I saw it before I saw 2001. Funny enough, because I was 8 years old and Mom had to take me to work. When we hung out with the special folks, and I ended up watching. It was like TNT was on for whatever reason, and just on a loop, and like 2010 came on, and I missed 2001, but I knew that was an important movie, so I'm like, I'm gonna watch an important movie, a follow-up to an important movie, which everyone forgot. Beautiful practical effects. It's Peter Hyams, that's the director, it was all like the new images from Voyager and stuff, so I was just enraptured. And I got to bond with a few folks who were just watching. It was a cool movie. Very fun. More action-y. It has a US and Russian, or US and Soviet collaboration as well. Competition and collaboration. A message of unity.
Two teams, both very different. How are they gonna get along? Hilarity ensues. Then they get a bunch of like scotch tape, and they like cover it across the space station, and one side has to stay on one side of the tape, and then the other side has to stay on the other side of the tape. You better not touch mine. It's a great movie.
I think that literally happened on a mission. I think literally that happened when they were setting up Skylab or something, because they actually did set up tape to mark off borders at one point for something. It wasn't as tense as that. I think it was literally trying to figure out their personal space or
Dude,
something.
I was just talking about it like an episode of Different Strangers with Balky and what's-his-face, and like that was what happened. No, I'm just kidding.
I love Different Strangers! You know they have it on, they're streaming it now.
Really? I haven't seen that in years. I should rewatch that.
It holds up.
We are ruining the show. I'm sorry. We're hijacking it. I'm sorry.
Fine.
Okay, good.
Okay, so
ruining it is when we're not talking about space, but we're talking about stuff that
we woke up early this morning and then drove several hours south of here to do a training for you for a couple of hours.
Our cat was like, hey, it may be like 5:30 a.m. in your minds, but it's breakfast in mine. And so we woke up.
Yeah, and then we kept being up, which weirded out the cat, and then we left, which the cat, I don't know, who knows.
He's upset he's not talking to us currently.
And then we go down, we come back, and then I was still working the whole time as much as I could, and then now we're doing the show. So,
yeah.
Like, there's no space news. Do you have any questions about current events in space? In the chat, here, Mel, Jasmine.
The only thing I will say...
Yeah! What a beautiful boy.
Got him! He finally woke up.
An appreciation of cats on tonight's
Black
Jagged
cats
Orbit.
are the best. I love my
Cats
black
and
cat.
space go together. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
I'm wearing this hat in solidarity with my cat who's not talking to me because we left for so long. I'm hoping he'll like see me as one of his own.
You're being punished, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
Punished Jasmine.
Technically, he's like a roommate.
Oh, here's a funny thing I saw today.
What living with the cat is like. It's a roommate, but the worst roommate you've ever had. But because they're small and cute, you're okay with it.
And you can force kisses on it and not get arrested.
Whenever you want. And
I was gonna say it's a lot like a toddler, but
no,
Okay.
toddlers are like drunk people. Cats are like weird spirits.
I told you.
Yeah, aliens.
They're aliens that crash landed to Earth and just refuse to learn anything about us, and that's it. That's it.
Speaking of crash landing and aliens and all these things, it's a roundabout way of discussing the beautiful conjunction that's happening.
Really gonna talk about that? It's so inappropriate. Children might be watching.
I'm gonna talk about Jasmine.
I know.
Well, there was a wonderful picture that was in our intro earlier, and I think if I have it as my main background, I'm gonna add this as the background here. Where is it? Jupiter and Saturn heart each other. There's a Santa Fe. There we go. I'll use that one. All right, and then we shall we gotta get rid of our 2 videos and then put the background on. There we go. Love it. So, transform. And then fit the screen. So, the little conjunction that's happening. Ooh, we have to move it up. Yeah, so you can see it. So you'll see them. I'm gonna ask, Jasmine, Mal, have you been watching for Saturn and Jupiter the last few months?
No, we have lives.
I have heard of these things.
Mm-hmm.
I have been seeing it because you have been pointing it out every single time when we go outside. And I don't mean that like legitimately, like I would not be looking for it, but you do.
See that? That's
But
the conjunction.
Dave, I live in a city where there's lots of light pollution. How can I, a city-dwelling person, view this?
This is great because you know what? Planets you can see from pretty much any light pollution you got. You can sometimes see them in the day. Well, you can see Venus sometimes in the day, but that's like very rare. But these things, middle of Chicago, New York City, whatever, totally see planets in the moon. Like, so those are events. Like an eclipse, you can see, regardless of light pollution. A conjunction of bright planets, you can still see in your light pollution. So Jupiter and Saturn will look super bright and close together, and you don't have to worry about, like a meteor shower or looking for the Milky Way where you have to go to a super dark area and train your eyes. Just go out and look. You can see it from the window of your house or apartment or whatever. Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh. When will this amazing thing take place?
Well, it's happening now. But this is like a night by night, I think, time lapse. This is actually done by the City College of New York Planetarium. They released this in the Creative Commons. Great stuff. I'm going to put the links in the chat. They did some visualizations of what it's going to look like. So every night they've been moving a little closer together in the sky as their orbits kind of bring them to appear closer to us. You know, picture a racetrack with a bunch of cars on it moving around. And you're looking out at the outside of it. So they're on the 2 outside tracks, and one's starting to lap the other. They do this every 20 years. Their orbits are, each a couple I think Jupiter's orbit is about 11 years, and Saturn is in the 20s.
Really?
Yes. Let me just look up exactly.
Wait, 11 years versus 20 orbit.
Jupiter year. Well, they're both much further out.
Oh, I know that, but I was just thinking about life
each other.
on that planet. Like, a year's gonna be very annoying.
It is technically, according to
I mean, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
if you wanted to celebrate Christmas, you'd have to wait.
Imagine
a lot
this
longer.
year, but 11 more times, and you have
12, I should say, according to the Google result I just pulled up, because I wanted to double check. I don't know why I have 11 in my head. That might be hours for rotation or something instead, because it has a very fast spin, Jupiter. But it's 12 years to make one orbit around the sun. Saturn, 29.
That's a long time.
So I'm not even 2 years old in Saturn years. I'm a youngin'.
That's great.
That's
Still figuring out the
interesting.
diaper issue. If I should get rid of them or not. It's a tough question for me at this age.
What do you think, Jasmine?
Yeah, Jasmine.
I'm sorry, do I know?
What's the diaper issue for you?
This is a strange man that lives in my house. The cat is more well-behaved than he is. But... he's nice.
But, yes, so yeah, because of the way that their orbits work, what's in between 29 and 12? This might be a little inaccurate to say it like this, but it is 20. So about every 20 years, they move close together as a conjunction. And I've seen people say that it is a great conjunction because it is specifically the two largest planets. I've also seen it's great because it's very close. Let's just say it's great because it's close and it's two giant bright planets. And what was it? A lot of people are freaking out because it's the closest they've been in like hundreds of years, in 400 years, in 800 years. And it's like, yeah, it's actually pretty impressive, like how close together they're going to appear. You're still going to be able to see them as... Pardon?
It's just some witchy shit.
Yeah, it's cool though.
Agree.
Well, there's the talk of it being like Christmas star or whatever, you know.
Oh, I was wondering if we were going to touch on that, the Jesus star.
I actually had to write a little viewing guide for it, and I had to like double check. It's like, is this really going to be like far apart that I can't see it? You know, like, no, they'll still be far enough apart. Like, take a dime and like hold it out, like, you know. Or this moon is about the right size here. It's dime size. Like take something in like small, like just hold it out to like this. And that's about how far apart they're going to be. They're about 1/10 of a degree apart on the 21st of December. And you got to look quick because they're going to set quick. I'll show you in a second what that means. Like you got to look towards where the sun just set basically for these two very close star-like things. They'll be the first things you see after the sun sets in the west.
Which is the Jesus star, technically?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I
There
thought there was an actual star thing.
The current thinking for people that are looking up that kind of stuff is it's either a close conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter or a triple between Venus, Saturn, and Jupiter, an alignment of the bright planets. And the dates are like, is it 3 BC, 8 BC, 880? I've seen a few dates thrown around because, again, if you measure your calendar based on the birth of someone there's no good birth records, you're gonna have some wiggly date problems as well.
I find it interesting because it is the holidays, and for some of y'all, Christmas is important, where a rotund man with tiny helpers breaks into your home and takes food. There are other cultures that also pay attention to the Three Kings, Dia de los Reyes. In this case, 3 men break into your homes with camels. And the interesting thing is you don't feed the guys, you feed the camels, and then you get presents.
Well, that's who does all the work.
Yeah, honestly.
Oh, well, speaking of the 3 kings, that's actually another theory. Some ideas about it was the 3 kings that visited Jesus aren't actually real kings, but they were the 3 bright stars very, very close together in a conjunction like this. Like Venus, Saturn, and Jupiter, say, or something.
For any children watching who celebrate, which I know they're not, the 3 kings will visit you. Just leave the grass and water out as you were instructed, and they will put toys in your shoes.
Sandal likes high CBD weed cars, especially.
They don't.
Also,
they are
Pisces.
But yeah. So Mel, are you near like a place where you can get a good view of the western horizon?
We're back.
Well, I am. Where I am is very flat. But
perfect.
But again, there's lots of light pollution because I live in a city.
And that's fine. You'll see it no problem.
And I guess what I wanted to ask, this is something that I can view with a naked eye, yes?
Yes. This is actually like, this is supposed to be your view, just you looking out at the horizon, the picture behind us.
I'm just a simple, poor girl, telescopeless in this world.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's important to think about.
Lives in a very bright place, and sometimes I cannot see everything. And so to be able to see planets without having to use telescopular device, I can't, yes. So this fills me with joy.
Yeah, you can totally just see it naked eye, you're fine. Like, Just walk out, look to the west around 5:30, 5 or 5, whenever the sun sets. It starts to get dark. You'll see Jupiter first because it's much brighter than Saturn, and then you'll see Saturn, which is also still very bright.
I have to say it makes it very interesting because I know you grew up in northern New York. I've always grown up in cities, and so never really was able to stargaze at all anywhere just because it was so bright. And the only place I ever got to do it was at my grandmother's house in rural North Carolina. But that was few and far between. So it's kind of cool to learn about ways to do that without having to worry about necessarily having the right equipment or being in the right location or anything like that, just because you'd be surprised how easy it is to go through life and not really ever have that space or acknowledge that space, literally.
Oh, yeah, no, it's weird because a lot of times people assume stuff like this is very exclusive. Like, you need special equipment, you need super training, you need to be in a particular location. And sometimes that is the case. I mean, you want to look at like a total solar eclipse, you got to travel usually far away. It's usually inconvenient. You want to look at galaxies, you need a certain amount of stuff you got to get. But that's why I really like planets and the moon and the sun. Like, well, the sun, you got to make something to shield your eye. But like, they're generally, you can just look at them naked eye. Stars, constellations, you can teach yourself the sky, start to notice fun stuff. This, of course, is fun in a telescope, too. Or planets are fun, planets and moon, because you could just use binoculars.
What?
Well, if you have any binoculars lying around, you can use them to stargaze. And actually, some of the galaxies that you, like I said, you need extra special equipment. Even in like some areas with some light pollution, you can look at Andromeda with binoculars. For sure. I've seen it, but I've seen Andromeda and 2 of its like orbiting satellite galaxies from downtown Oakland. So,
shit.
Like Art Murmur, I showed people that at Art Murmur, and like people were like, "Oh, cool!" Like it didn't look like the Hubble picture, but you'd see like a fuzzy bright core and a couple little fuzzy things around it, like much different than the stars. So
People
I mean,
love
you technically see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm into it. I like acknowledging these faraway fuzzy things in my life. They give a lot of meaning to me. I don't know about you guys, but I just really.
We're tearing.
What?
Oh no!
I was like, what do you want me to get?
We need to maybe.
This is our bookshelf. If you didn't know,
it's full of pornography.
Dirty pornography.
It's not my taste.
Ooh,
my taste.
Shouts out to my old high school principal who accused me of running a very naughty underground newspaper in the school. And in the process of it, she pointed to several articles and said, "Don't you know what this is? This is pornography." And it was like a poem about a guy like killing someone with a chainsaw or whatever, as teens will write. And I'm like, how is someone getting murdered pornography? And she just said the phrase, "Well, you haven't read the good stuff." And that has stayed with me for decades.
She goes so hard.
Just 1,000 degrees into the, like, just, I don't even know how to respond to this.
How many years has it been since that happened?
20, at least 20, 23.
Okay, so if my
23
calculations are correct, based off of what she said, the only thing that she can get her off right now is drowning puppies. Because that, what, like, think about it, like, what, like... I mean, that's the natural progression. If that's what gets you off, is like snuff films, right?
She went straight to snuff film. I
mean, that's really what she said. Like, she's like, you didn't even get the good murder films. Like, I mean, unless I see cartilage, I can't even get off. That's like, that's the kind of lady we're talking about. Like, ugh.
Ah, yes.
This is the darkest episode we've ever aired. But it's also the Christmas one because I have a candy cane. That's why I have it here.
That's right, it is the Christmas episode.
Yeah, because we talked about the Three Kings, and that's why I felt like it's important to have a candy cane. This is as Christmassy as we get because he hates Christmas.
I'm indifferent to Christmas. Stop saying that I hate it. You're setting me up to get yelled at by people.
I asked for a tree and he glared at me and he said, "Why?" And I said, "Because we can see our friend Gavin." And he's like, "I guess." And then we got the tree, but I had to drag him there, and he was like
Your
lead
tree
feet,
is
just
beautiful.
like
They have a
I
beautiful
know.
Christmas tree. Everybody on the internet. Dave owns a beautiful Christmas tree.
Where's the tree? Can we see?
It's back there.
We're
And
not
I
gonna
asked
see
for
it.
Christmas
Anyway.
this year. I was like,
Oh,
David,
God
can you
damn it.
get me a Christmas ornament? Because Christmas, he's like,
I've
I
got you
guess.
these Christmas shoes.
Ew, that's no. That is the most messed up Christmas song in history.
Really, the most messed up.
Oh,
is
Patton
Grandma Got Run
Oswald.
Off
I'm
by
not
a
gonna
Reindeer.
steal the bit because Patton Oswald. I would
What-
just
what-
look up. Yeah, Patton Oswald, Christmas shoes, hilarity
great.
ensues.
Anyway, hilariousness ensues. Are you
I mean, yeah.
45 years old and posting on the internet in 2008?
Yes, she is 45 years old. And posting
I am.
Dave.
I am.
I've been feeling really tender about that because that's very much me. So.
He's in his 40s.
They're
and I
all
still choose to
45
be
years
with
old
him.
and posting on the internet.
LOL, all Gen
I'm
X
old.
is I have a FARC account.
I've accepted the fact that I'm old. I mean, I have a cat now, and that's all I care about. And like,
Yeah, that's right.
you know, at least I'm not a Disney adult.
That's true.
Oh my God, can you imagine?
I know some folks that are Disney adults and they're all very nice. But
No,
I
I'm not
don't
saying we're not
understand.
talking about niceness, Dave. This isn't about niceness.
It's
This is
sad.
about some deep-seated shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm 100%.
Don't get me wrong. I would still go to Disneyland, but I wouldn't like make a big deal of it and go out of my way to go.
The only ride worth anything is Pirates of the Caribbean when you're high. That's it. That's it.
Honestly, half the park when you're in that state. Like, I mean,
Let's be honest about
Just
the
eat
nature
an
of the
edible
park.
and go.
actually, the best time to go is on your birthday because they give you a badge and you just get free shit the whole day.
It is. It's pretty
That's
awesome.
the way to roll. I mean, that's the only time it's appropriate because you do get to live like a high roller for no reason.
For no reason.
And all I had to do was come out of a uterus and stay out.
Literally any uterus.
I mean, in a uterus. Yeah, like literally. Like I was just like. In fact, it's a part of the whole thing to get the badge. They're like, so you were born. Yes, in '84, I came out of a uterus. I had the experience of life and existence, and it was so crazy. I decided to keep doing it for another 36 years. Congratulations. Here's your badge. Thank you.
I'm gonna go get a Dole Whip now.
Fire. Oh, it was so sad. The Dole Whip machine was not working, but I went to California Adventure and got like dollar margaritas or whatever, and it was fine.
I was about to say, at California Adventure, you can actually buy alcohol in Disneyland,
Yes.
which they don't let you do anywhere else.
But they
And
cap
got
you at
some
2 drinks,
crazy
which I think is
vodka
wrong.
Lemonade. Yeah, I got some crazy vodka lemonade slushy
There we
and
go.
some type of. It was chili.
That's sick.
Okay, it was
Okay.
chili, but it was a cone. The cone was made out of bread. Have you seen? Do you know what I'm talking about, Jasmine?
No.
I have seen this, yes.
I have not seen this.
This is great.
The breadstick in the shape of a cone, like an ice cream cone, and they fill it with fucking chili, and you eat it, and it's pretty good.
That
It's
is.
not-
I'm
There's
down
a
for
specific need for that, and yeah.
that. Although my favorite part, honestly, and I know people will disagree with me on this, but when I go to any Disney park, my favorite thing is the corn dogs because they are huge. One time when I ate the corn dogs there, I had a stomach ache this big. Like, oh my god.
Have you ever had the giant Renaissance turkey leg
No.
at the theme park?
I need to do that next.
Yes.
It's
Well,
huge
no,
smoked
Mel.
turkey leg.
You're near Maryland. Do you go to the Ren Fair in near Annapolis?
I have not been, but I have heard of it. I have heard
It's
that
amazing.
it's basically the Burning Man of the East Coast, is what
It's-
I've heard.
I stumbled into it like
In
ass
Renaissance.
backwards just because I lived there, and my friend's like, "We got free tickets, let's go to Ren Fair." And I'm like, "Haha, that sounds dumb. Let's go." And I was like, "This is the greatest thing I've ever been to in my life." But
Yeah.
because that was the Ren Fair I first went to, I went to a few others, and I was not getting that fix. I was like, "What is
Oh.
this? This is child shit."
If
They had a sword swallower, and he ruled. He's dead now. R.I.P. Johnny Fox.
was it because of the sword or old
Oh.
age or COVID?
The
just
Annapolis
use,
Ren Fair
like,
in
old age.
Maryland.
Oh,
Annapolis,
okay.
Maryland. It is the Burning
When
Man of the
this-
East Coast in all Renaissance costumes. Just go if you can. I mean, you
Mel.
probably won't because we have a plague right now, which is ironic because it's a Renaissance.
I know.
I know, actually.
So
Wait. Mel, can we commit when things get
we're
better?
Or less
No, I
weird.
don't care.
Let's say less weird.
Can we commit? We will do the Ren Fair.
Yes.
Me and you. We will
Let's
dress
meet at the
as
Ren Fair.
wenches with like tankards.
Can I dress as a wench too?
I even have my own tankard. That's the amazing thing.
I will get one. If you get me a tankard, yes, you can dress as a wench, and we will just have the best day of our lives.
Oh wait.
We will meet at the Ren
I want to
Fair.
go to the Ren Fair now.
So we
that I'm
meet at the
sober,
Ren
boy.
Fair.
You can take care of
I
us.
can still overeat. They have a cheesecake on a stick, so I'm fine.
I want a turkey leg and just like a stein and just like.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
do they have-
any
Doesn't
chance.
Maryland have
Fight,
one?
drink, fight, drink.
I don't know.
All day long.
Anyway, again, sorry to just like I'm totally hijacking
Didn't need
Star
to go
Time.
out of-
I
yeah.
don't feel bad about it though because one time I
We-
asked David to buy me chicken nuggets and he said no. So this is
I'm
the
sorry,
retribution.
we had sandwiches in the car.
I wanted chicken nuggets.
Anyway, Mel, so if you were to look out your window, or towards the west on the evening of the 21st, this is probably what you would see. Something like this. More towards the southwest than the west. So the sun set, right, over here. You can see kind of it here. You can't really see Jupiter around 4:20. But around 5:20, you can kind of see a little bit of something. We'll go a few more minutes to get a little darker. But the thing is the darker it gets, the lower they get. So it's good to kind of just find a spot a little bit after sunset. Now, if you just look a little closer, you can see, oh, okay, it's kind of hard to tell. I'll zoom this in a bit for the folks on stream. But yeah, you can see it's like a couple. It's like, oh, okay, there's a couple of stars there, you know. They're distinct from each other, but close enough. You glance, you might see it's one star. A Christmas star. It is near Christmas, so this is our Christmas star, right?
Hey.
And you said you had binoculars?
I do.
What is the power on them? What are the numbers? What do they got?
They're not that great. They're really small. I think
That's
the
fine.
highest is like 5x.
5x?
Like literally, they're like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, like 5x30s?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so in case you're all wondering about binoculars, so there's two numbers on them. You've seen, you know. You have 5x30, most likely. The 5 in the beginning means the magnification, so they magnify
Right.
5 times. The 30, the 30 indicates the size of each of the two main outer lenses, so 30 millimeters. So if you have like 42s, that means 42 millimeter, 50
Right.
millimeters. So Stellarium has a great little thing. We're going to select an object before switching to ocular view. Switching to Jupiter. Now, we are going to select...
Jasmine, you look so cute.
This is what it would look like in these Carl Zeiss 6x50s. So close to 6x30s, sorry.
This is actually quite impressive.
So
I
this
did not
is-
know it could do that.
So you're going to have... Let me see if I can reduce the text, because we don't really need to see text. Labels of stars. We don't need to see the planet markings. Solar system objects. Ooh, yeah, no. Labels and markers. Boom. Okay. So you're going to look at it. They're going to be brighter than this, but I had to turn down the brightness because it was also... They're so close they would smear together.
Right.
So you're kind of looking at these two. It's going to look a little bigger in yours, but not very much. Or a little smaller, actually. But you can still see here. Notice how there's like a kind of like a diagonal slash next to one of the planets of like several brighter stars. Those are the moons of Jupiter. So on the 21st, you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4 moons of Jupiter right next to it, just with your 5 times binoculars.
That's crazy, Dave. Oh my gosh. So beautiful. I can't wait.
Next to it, you see the other bright star there, which is Saturn. Now, you can't really see rings, but you do see a little dot kind of to the right of it. That's Titan. The moon Titan. And actually, I did turn the labels off, but let us turn them back on for just a second. We'll see a little bit more detail here. Now, if you have like slightly larger binoculars, I have 10 by 50s, so 10 times. You can see a little bit more.
The number gets larger every time he tells people that.
Here's a fun fact about binoculars, though. The bigger the number is not necessarily the better the binoculars, depending on what you want to use them for. Because the bigger the numbers, the heavier they are. So unless you have a tripod, it's going to be a pain in the ass. And part of the appeal of binoculars is you can just pick them up and do stuff with them, right? And hold them up if you're going to look. And the other thing is, the higher the magnification, the narrower the amount of field of view you're going to look. So you know how hard it is to like hold something steady just with like regular sized binoculars, or even just like, yeah, I don't know, hold a cardboard tube up and like center it on something and see how steady the tube's field of view is. You magnify it more than 10 times, you're going to get a bad wiggly effect. So that's why people put their binoculars on a tripod, or they buy really expensive image stabilization binoculars to zoom in more than that. Or they just switch to a telescope, because you're like, why am I putting my binoculars on a tripod? And it's like, yes, just get a telescope that zooms in more. So, or you can just use both and appreciate both views. You can still see moons of Jupiter and Saturn with up to 10 even. I've seen hints of the rings of Saturn in my 10s, but nothing I would say, yes, those are the rings. It looks squished a little bit. But if you've got an old telescope lying around, let me see if I can sorry. Oh no! Let me pick an object. There we go. Telescope. Let us do something that you may have around the house. Those starter telescopes that you often get from like a store, they're kind of useless for stuff, but this is what a 6x10 would look with its usual default eyepiece. So, funny enough, does this look significantly better than the binoculars?
I mean, there's all the difference.
It's not very much. You might be able to see the hint of rings more, but that's kind of it. So those telescopes you see at the store, like when we used to go to them regularly and browse,
I can kind of see it though.
You can kind of see it, but it's not significantly better. Like,
I could also mistake that for two stars on each side.
Yeah, I mean, if you got one, it's still great, and you can put it. It's especially if you don't have binoculars, pretty good, you know. But if you have a friend with a nice little astronomy telescope, then astronomy telescope, you can yeah, you can like see a little more. So this is a 8-inch telescope with a nice wide field eyepiece. So that's kind of the thing here. People are really excited, like astronomy dorks like myself, very excited because you can see these two planets in the same field of view of a telescope. Now, you zip in a little closer, and here's where you can start to see the rings and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So let me offset it. So you can see here, it's hard to... It's also simulating the drift if you don't have a motorized telescope. So you zoom in like to this point. It's magnified at about 145 times right now. So significantly more than earlier. But now we can kind of see detail. You'll be able to see cloud bands on Jupiter too by this. It's just a little... I don't have a full grasp of the software as far as visualization. But if you were to say zoom in on Saturn with a, this is at 338 times magnification. So this is actually, usually you can't magnify this much in a telescope and make it look good, because it starts to pick up a lot of turbulence. Sometimes you can, a lot of times you still can, or it'll be blurry and then it is like clear for a second. It's this weird thing. Like you've seen that when we looked at Mars. Because you were like, oh, I see it. Wait, now I don't.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying.
It's kind of weird. You kind of wait for the air to be steady for like a couple seconds. But yeah, so you can see the rings clearly now and a lot of little satellites around Saturn. Now, I'll tell you this. If you're in Oakland, you know, or lots of light pollution, you're not going to see a lot of these satellites easily, even with a telescope. You'll still see the rings. You'll still see Titan. Titan's very bright. And then over here, But then the thing is, like, it's easy to swing your telescope over just a little bit.
It looks so cute at that size.
Yeah,
I have to say.
I really like it. It's so wee.
Yeah.
I know. I have to say,
and
when I first...
that'll be your view of Jupiter.
Oh, Jupiter is more prominent.
Jupiter is bigger than Saturn.
I mean, yeah, but
so,
like...
and closer. Bigger.
I don't
that's
think
why it's...
I've seen it. Yeah. I don't think I've seen it in a telescope. Or maybe you did show it to me, but it's been a while.
It's been a while.
Oh, I think I did see the red dot. I think you did show me the red dot.
That was when we were looking at Mars. Because when we switched over.
Was that on my birthday?
No. I don't think so.
It was not on my birthday. But it was pretty cool. Although between the two, Saturn was still like the cooler of the
Saturn's
two.
Great.
Because they get rings. We don't technically have rings. And I think that's neat that a planet has
here
rings.
We go.
It's because God liked it, so put a ring on it.
That's right.
So you can see here. So in case you're wondering what you're going to be seeing if you're looking at, because you can see these moons with your binoculars. It's going to be Callisto, Io, Ganymede, and on the bottom Europa. Now, this might have flipped them, so you can double check with any number of free apps. A telescope view is actually different. Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, see, we got the. Let's do the 10 by 42s. Yep. So yeah, it's flipped a little. You can see that actually Callisto's now on the bottom right, Io, and then the other two, which I'll return to. Yeah. So telescopes, you've seen it, like upside down images. Binoculars give you right side up images, and that's because binoculars have a prism, like literally the prism in like the Pink Floyd fucking artwork or whatever.
Sick album.
It just flips it.
I think I have it too.
Oh yeah.
And not that it matters, but just so you know, I'll know I have that album somewhere down here in vinyl because I am cool and relevant.
That's not cool.
He's jealous.
Also, if you have a friend with a large telescope, but get him to bring it over because you can see some cool ass shit. And also, let's go look at a.
He has telescope envy.
I don't actually, because I got a telescope this big. So.
Yeah, it's kind of big.
It's pretty big. It's also so big it's hard to use.
It's cute. So. Some would say it's exotic, because it's not as big as the others, but it's still cool. It's still good.
It's good.
Yeah, no, it's good. I like your telescope. It's great.
Anyway. Okay, so probably though, you're gonna have something like see something like this, just with your binoculars, and it's good to bring out the binoculars if you can. It's fun, and just look at other shit while you're out. Look at your neighbors. Look at your neighbors' children. Spy on the police. Maybe they'll be looking back at you.
Fun story. We've been afraid to stargaze, or more importantly, David has been afraid to stargaze because we are still new to the neighborhood. And due to COVID, we can't really introduce ourselves to the neighbors. So as far as we know, the only view our neighbors have of David is just some strange man out at night with a huge telescope pointed towards homes.
The problem is their house is right next to the western horizon.
After God knows how long of living here, it took us a missing cat to actually introduce ourselves to the neighbors due to COVID.
Yeah, well, that happens.
So this might be a thing if you're going to be looking for a long time towards the western horizon with some instruments. You might want to wave to your neighbor, or if you're just looking at them,
hey neighbor,
without an ocular, you're just appreciating the lovely view. So let's do some magic here. Let's do some magic. So we're going to advance a little bit. So, like I said, it's quick. We're zooming. It's only like 6:15. Gone. So you got basically an hour and a half window to catch them. Yeah. 5 o'clock to 6, really. And you'll look low in the kind of the southwest, too. So a little more towards the south than the west. Of
course, it's during rush hour.
Pull over. Make everyone else pull over. Tell them it's the REM video. Enjoy looking at the stars. Can't we all just forget about traffic and look at the stars? My baby's dying and I need to get to the hospital.
No.
Well, that sounds stressful. Why don't you take a break from your dying child and look at this beautiful star? The Christmas star, which is actually 2 planets.
You can also get more children.
Children are...
Right,
A baby's a
totally
reminder
want
that you can
children.
make more babies.
Have you considered cats or puppies?
Perhaps a cat puppy. Perhaps you can graft a puppy's ears onto your baby. Is it an ear problem they're having?
It's easily done.
So, here's the thing too. So people will be like, all right, well, I want to see this, I want to see the star. Like, is it just the 21st? Just the 21st are going to be like close together. No, they've been close. They're close together right now. They're close together. They've been getting closer together. They're just, the 21st is when they're at the closest. But here, let us time travel to the 21st. Ooh, still pretty cool looking. Still close. The 22nd, 23rd. Okay, it takes several days for them to start moving apart more, but it's still close.
Still cool. It's still
Yeah, but-
amazing.
Yeah, but by the new year, they're pretty close to being set. So, and I think we actually, did we see? Oh yeah, and the moon's gonna pass by them.
And
The moon already has passed by them. Duh, we were looking at it earlier. But yeah, it's a crescent, so it'll get a little bigger as it goes along. And funny enough, if you're in an area with no human light pollution, the moon, actually big source of it when it's full, but great for midnight walks when it's snowy out.
What's non-human light pollution?
Non-human light pollution is the moon,
Oh, okay.
or say a supernova that goes off, or the sun in the daytime.
The Greys, which have been on this planet for years.
I just joined. It looks like you're about to shoot a planet. If you think about it, stars are God's dying children.
Oh, hi,
What's up?
Matt.
It's Matt. Yeah. Oh, actually, since you're looking at Jupiter and on the 21st, you're looking at Jupiter and Saturn with your binoculars, Mel. Your 30s, 6x30s. That is what the moon shall look like to you. You'll see the craters. So yeah, moon, very fun to look at with the binoculars.
I don't know why I don't look at the moon more often with my binoculars. I've been missing out.
And look-
That could be enhancing my life.
And you can look at it regardless if it's full or not. Some people think that you have to look at
Exactly.
it when it's full. And that's
No.
actually the least interesting time.
I mean,
It's still
there's some
cool.
good things about the full moon.
But when you're looking at it when it's like, say, a half moon, you see like detail along the edge better. It's not as crisp here. But let's see.
I mean, you can't charge your crystals otherwise.
True. We gotta charge our crystals, folks.
Gotta think about that.
But yeah,
also, be
so-
careful because it is winter. Things are colder. You can damage your crystals if it's too
That's
cold at
right.
night. Like
Mhm.
below freezing. Don't do it. Think of another way to
Don't
charge
do
your
it,
crystals.
no. Keep your
Oh, yeah.
crystals inside.
That's my PSA for the day.
But yeah, so you can see here, one neat thing about looking at the moon when it's like going through different phases is that you're basically the phases are you're looking at the sunset or the sunrise happening on the moon, and you know how like picture taking the best time is morning or evening because of the extra
Mhm.
contrast. It applies if you're looking at something actually experiencing morning or evening, because that line there is the massive contrast line, and every day it moves and shows you new details along the way that you wouldn't normally see, and that's washed out when it's full.
True, very true.
There's craters you can really see well like during like a quarter phase or whatever, but you cannot see like at all or not really well at all when it's full, so or even like mostly full. So it's kind of fun, like just to poke, especially with binoculars, because you can just be like, oh, I want to look at the moon now. Boom, just go look. And actually, and hold up your phone to the binoculars if you got the skills. You brace the binoculars on something, and then just take a picture of it through the. Yeah, moon is an easy one to do with your binoculars because it's so bright. And then once you get the hang of it, you can then do the same with Jupiter. Because you'll see the moons of Jupiter with your phone. That was some of the first pictures I took, was my phone held up to binoculars, and oh my god, I can see the moon. That's cool. I took a picture of the moons. Oh, and another fun thing, if you're just, you're chilling out, maybe hitting something and like playing, you're grinding in a game and you're getting up to just like unstretch your legs, as I have done trying to feed Kronos food in No Man's Sky so I get more nanites, so I can be a rich fucking asshole and buy whatever I want. Get up, stretch your legs, and look at the moons of Jupiter again. And they'll move during the course of the night. If you look up like Jupiter moons gifts, you'll just see them like zipping around. That's kind of a fun little side project too. It's a weird thing you wouldn't think you could see with binoculars. You can even like just draw, get a sheet of paper, draw a few little squares, make a circle for Jupiter in each one, and then just draw the dots every couple of hours of where the moons are. It's kind of fun. Oh, yeah. Like this.
Like the example that he has permanently attached to him at all times.
That's the Galileo's sketches of Jupiter, which actually, Mel, your binoculars are about as powerful as Galileo's telescope. So,
nice.
Yeah, Galileo's telescope was fucking horrible. A lot of people don't know this.
But you know what?
Really, at the Renaissance, they didn't have that figured out yet? Like, they didn't have, like, amazing...
But you know what? He used it anyway, and look at the shit he did.
Yeah.
With that shitty-ass telescope.
It's so funny, though, thinking about the old days, you can be considered one of history's greatest geniuses by looking at a telescope and being like, hey, you know, you can look at stuff in the sky with this. Because they had them. They just never pointed them up. A couple of people did, so there is some stuff about someone else saw the craters first.
They got angry about the stuff in the sky. They were like, how dare you? How dare you point it and look at things in the sky?
Oh, yeah.
I think what's really weird is they saved his mummified finger for some reason as a reliquary.
They did. You know,
the reliquary thing is wild.
That is a really, like, the blood and
like,
bodies.
Was he a criminal or not, guys? Come on. How do you...
And it took them, like, until the year 2000 to formally apologize for the way they treated him. Like,
I like the funny way that Copernicus, before him, did his treatise about, hey, maybe things go in circles around the sun. He was, like, dying, and he's like, yeah, you can put this out now. And there's a big apology to the Pope in the beginning. He's like, I'm just thinking about stuff. I'm just saying that might be another way to think about it. Not that that's what it is, but just thinking. By the way, I'm dying. Bye.
That's how you do it right there. See?
Yeah. But anyway,
Galileo, he was patient. He should have waited till he was on his deathbed.
We can't think about, like, rock bodies, like, circling, like, the sun. But meanwhile, take this piece of bread and, like, cannibalize the guy we, like, think is pretty cool and drink his blood.
And this wine is blood. Here you go. Drink it.
Be more open-minded, Catholicism.
Yeah.
And you know what?
They already kind of are with all that.
Well, I mean, we have cool Pope now, so...
The mayor of my hometown claimed to be a Catholic priest, and but someone finally realized, like, he was writing a column in a local paper, and someone was like, but aren't you married? And he's like, yeah, Catholic priests could be married. And they're like, that absolutely cannot. What the hell are you talking about? That was like a major point of the Protestant Reformation, if I do recall.
Is this top hat and sash mayor?
Yes.
Nice.
This is arrested at Stewart's for being drunk and fighting mayor.
And they still liked him after that.
Let's not trash the mayor too hard.
No, they were like, hey, yeah, he did that, but
he still won
had
re-election.
Some great policies. I'm giving him props.
Yeah, and he won re-election.
I mean, getting drunk in public, that is like as all of the bad things politicians have done, that is at the bottom.
That's straight up
like
just
an
relatable.
asterisk. Like, oh.
If it's something I would do, then it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, he was, you know, it's like, that's gold. I mean...
But, why were we talking about Kevin? Why did I bring him up?
Because you brought him up because he sounded cool.
No. Mayor, doing mayor
Because he has a top hat and a sash.
What was the thing before that? Shit.
This is the weirdest
This is what happens when you get old, folks on
done.
Twitch. I'm so sorry. This is the beginning.
Don't be like us.
It started with binoculars, and Galileo had a telescope then that was as powerful as the shitty binoculars I have now.
Yeah. That's good enough. We don't need to get into the mayor. Yeah, so that's the thing. You got shitty binoculars, even like children's toy binoculars that are like kidnoculars. You can still see the ones of Jupiter in them. A little kid. Oh, actually, I had when you can actually see the moons of Jupiter if you've got like incredibly good vision. Like that's a weird fun fact. Children can see a couple of the moons of Jupiter pretty reliably, and they do that exercise where they point where the stars around Jupiter are on paper and then look again a couple hours later and they've moved. That's the confirmation if they're actually seeing something. and they routinely do. It's crazy. Little kids have some little kids have supervision. I had it briefly when I got LASIK, and they told me, because right after LASIK, your prescription changes wildly until it settles. So I had like supervision, and then I thought I was going blind for a second. Then I had it again, and then it became normal. But for like a week, I was like, I am the ultimate observational astronomer. This rules. I even was like, can I just bribe the man to give me that vision again? Like, it's probably illegal, but I want it. Give
Just
me.
zap me again.
I have a special
Zap me
announcement.
again, Doug.
Just fine tune, man. You got that laser. I know you can do it. Just a little bit more. But anyway, but that's basically it. Like, here's your view of
Wait.
of the two planets.
I
The
have an
Christmas
important
star.
announcement to make.
Yeah.
I don't care about any of this now because our cat's here. So if I'm
It
not
looks
paying
like you've been giving
attention-
me a handy the whole time.
I swear to God, I've been petting the cat and not his nuts. I need to make that very clear.
Oh, Onyx.
I love my baby so much. I don't care about anything else. Like, I love him.
He's so sweet.
He's like a magical creature that I can just like have forever. Oh.
But while we appreciate the cat, we'll just review what we learned tonight. An oddly educational episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mel, you're in the city, but you can still see Jupiter and Saturn and the moon. No problem. You got binoculars? You can see extra stuff. If you miss it because of bad weather, you can still look for it. They just won't be quite as close together, but they're still going to be close together. Yeah, here they are. Look at
That's
them.
good to know because it's actually
Look
going to
like
be
they are.
kind of rainy soon. So that's
Oh,
good that I
yeah.
won't totally miss out because I had no idea that this was something that I could do just from my own home. And I love things that are absolutely most convenient to me. Those are the things I like.
That's the fun part with planets. Like, planets and the moon are accessible to everyone. I mean, unless you're under a lot of clouds or whatever. Oh, thank you. I have notes. So I'm going to put these in the text on the YouTube channel after this is done. But you can go, if you're looking for, like, you got shitty clouds, you just want to check out a live stream from someone's telescope and see this site live, which you totally can. There's a few groups doing it. So, you can look on the NASA Night Sky Network page at nightsky.jpl.nasa.gov. On the 21st, there's a few events there that are like live streams of this, that, and the other. The Lowell Observatory is doing a stream. Chabot Space and Science Center also doing a stream. And the Charlotte Astronomical Society, I believe, is also doing a stream. And there's a few other clubs that are too. And an organization, SLOH, S-L-O-O-H, probably is. So yeah, if you got clouds, you can go there and check out a telescope live stream with a real astronomer. Not a fun astronomer like me, but someone that knows like actual theoretical facts. Theoretical facts, anyway. It's contradictory. You know, they actually, they are accredited.
There you go. There you go,
They're who
Dave.
I go to ask questions to. Hello,
If you
doctorate
get
person.
credited knowledge.
Yeah. I know a lot of stuff randomly, but I have to always check. And they actually check too. No one knows everything. And the funny part is, you ask a professional astronomer, hey, do you know where the star is? They'll be like, I don't know.
Let me check.
There's a coordinate
Let me
system
check.
in the computer, and then it goes and does the picture. Someone else does that. I'm busy writing code to try to tease out image artifacts so I can find like a tiny thing or something, you know. And we got our specializations.
That's okay. That is totally okay.
No one's a mega mind.
That's right.
And if someone pretends to be one, they're liars or charlatans.
You don't want to look in their telescope.
Yeah. No, you don't.
No.
Oh, there are other alternatives to see. Let me see. I had a couple more notes about this. But basically that's it. Look up a live stream. There might be an event near you to check it out too, but you might want to stay inside, or at least outside, safely distanced at this time. I just want to shout out again the CCNY Planetarium in New York City. for providing the wonderful images we saw earlier, and like this intro image here, and also let me see here, and these animated images from NASA missions by Kevin McGill at NASA. So shouts out. Everyone else made all these great images tonight, and there'll be links to all that shit in the description and YouTube after this too. Yep. That's kind of it for our stream for tonight. Yeah.
I was as well behaved as I could be.
If anyone got questions in the chat or in person, we'll do our best to answer them. I could even text my boss. Be like, "Hello, professional astronomer."
As usual, I learned a lot, as every time I enter into space with you, Dave, and Jasmine as my pilots.
Well, thank you.
I feel like we're really learning a lot, and I hope everyone out there on the internet is too.
Yeah, thank you folks joining us on YouTube and Twitch. This has been a real fun one. Again, check out the planets. You can check them out tomorrow night. Check them out for the next few nights. Watch them as they move closer and then further apart.
That's another thing that's awesome too. It's happening over extended days. Like, we're getting opportunities here, people. I think I am guilty of definitely forgetting what is above us. That is part of our natural world too. And feel free to let yourself experience some awe, some magic.
And if you get a telescope, you get these extra special views.
Exactly.
These will fit into a wide view telescope. Pretty nice. And if you got binoculars, they'll still look like this.
Be cool.
Pretty sweet. And if you just got your naked eye and you're in a city, it'll still look like this.
It's an alien planet, y'all.
Yeah. You can even get pictures of this with your iPhone or Android phone. Just set it on the ground or on like a stable thing like the top of a car or your balcony or stairs or whatever, and tap it with a delay, like at a 3-second delay. Tap the picture, focus on it, and then let it take a nice landscape pic.
Look at all these places you can't visit just because of how far away it is, not because of COVID.
Yeah.
Something about that is comforting.
You can't visit these places. Yeah. So sad. No. We can't visit Dear Cratered Callisto, or Nasty Volcanic Io, or Big Giant Ass Ganymede, largest moon in the solar system with an ocean underneath, or Wonderful Little Europa with a badass big ocean underneath. Or Titan, also with an ocean and with lots of actual methane seas and atmosphere and rain. What wonderful sights you can see on these weird-ass planets orbiting, weird-ass moons that are the size of planets, orbiting these giant planets. Yeah. Well, thank you. And may you all have a lovely night tonight. Thank you for joining us on this edition of Jagged Orbits with our fun
special
star
Christmas
time
episode.
Yeah, with a surprise guest Mel, who was literally just chatting with us moments before the show started. Thank you so much, Mel, for popping in.
I never not want to talk about space.
That's great. And may you all have a lovely time. We will probably not be on next week because it is Christmas Day, but if we are, we shall invite you all on again. Oh, thank you again, Matt. That's awesome. Yeah, thanks to the Twitch folks. And see ya maybe next week. Definitely the week after, which will be New Year's Day. Ha!
Merry Crimbus.
Oh my god.
And have a good
Merry Crimbus.
Festivus.
Merry Crimbus.
Merry Christmas, one and all.
Oh,
make sure your Crimbus bush is nice and trimmed and wet. Good night, folks.